Welcome to the podcast that brings you interviews, reviews, arts and entertainment news, all wrapped up in one place. You're listening to Art to Art with Amanny Mo. Coming up in this episode, we've got a theatre special for you. Creepy thriller 222 A Ghost Story was penned by the Battersea Poltergeist and Uncanny creator Danny Robins. That's Robins with one B, just in case you try to Google him later. This ghostly journey hit London's theatres in 2021, and with 5 record-breaking runs in various theatres across the capital, the rest, as they say, is history. Or could that be paranormal mystery? Anyway, the following year, the production was nominated for 3 Olivier Awards, including Best New Play of 2022, and Britpop singer Lily Allen made her West End stage debut that also garnered her a coveted nomination. There's a really clever bit of casting too, with various non-actors snapping up their first acting role, like Cheryl Cole, but also recognisable faces like Tom Felton, who, if you remember, played Draco Malfoy in the Harry Potter movies. But what's 222 A Ghost Story all about? Well, it's a story of 2 couples, one has a young baby, and they host a dinner party, confessing that there's a recurring ghostly noise that appears at 2:22 a.m. So it's agreed, albeit reluctantly, to stay up and see if that's the case, giving everyone in the audience massive scares along the way. So dim those lights and watch the trailer in a darkened room. Actually, don't. I caught up with the current UK tour cast members, and here's part 1 of my chat with a man best known from his band days in The Wanted, and also he was a Strictly Come Dancing winner. Jay McGuinness is who I'm talking about, and Chimerica actress Vera Chock, who play new couple on the block, Ben and Lauren.
I've had experiences I don't think you can explain with science. Things that have proper freaked me out.
Fear is what's kept humans alive for millions of years. It's the strongest of all emotions, stronger than love.
I am very excited to talk to you both, not least because I've spoken to the man who created 222 quite a while ago. It was last year, and we talked about all kinds of crazy things, Danny and I. We ended up chatting for 30 minutes instead of 10, but that's a whole other story altogether.
Lovely.
Oh my god, does this mean that you've had ghostly experiences? That you had ghostly goings on.
No.
Vera, you've got me. How did you know?
He's talking to you for 30 minutes, and I was like, yep, you had a story or 2.
He sniffed out a story, didn't he?
He's so sniffed out a story. He's good. He's really good. But look, it's exciting. I think 222 always has this amazing evolving cast. You two are in it. I'm going to start with you, Vera. Tell us about your character and where were you when you got that call?
Oh my god, I don't remember where I was.
So, wait, do you mean the call when you get an audition or when you get the job?
When you get the job.
So I begged for an audition, and after watching the show with a different cast, I begged my manager to try and speak to them. And I did an audition within like 2 weeks. And then I think it was only 2 weeks after that, and where was I? I was in London, definitely in London. I remember straight away, I was like, yes, I've got the job. And then I had to work out which part of the tour I could do. So this is the second part of the tour. So I could have been with the other cast. But thankfully, I'm so grateful to have the castmates I do. They are my favourite little pocket pals ever. They're great.
I can't remember where I was, but like it was a longer process for me because I auditioned way back. So I could have also gone for... They were considering me for the earlier tour, and then because, you have to match people because of chemistry and stuff, they were saving me for Jay, basically.
Yeah, we're Ben and Lauren, and we're on fire.
You're on fire. You got it. You got the chemistry going on. Jay, of course, we know you from The Wanted. We've seen you in Strictly doing the jive, one of my favourite dances. The winner of 2015, quite amazing. And we see you pop up regularly on our screens. But this must be a little bit different for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I'd been sort of floating in my head that I wanted to do, like a straight acting play, because I've done musicals, and since Strictly, that did take me into the theatre world. I was always getting out there singing and dancing for my supper. So the idea that I watched this play and loved it, and sort of envisioned, I can do this, I want to do this, please. Yeah, it's a whole different ball game. And I think that with musicals, you go in, you get off book, and you just get all your bearings, and they're like, okay, harmonies around the piano, now dance call, and it's just like a big operation. This, you spend so much time just discussing the text and how you feel and that character feels. And that was so mentally rewarding to chat to all these people about their life experiences and how they inform all their decisions. It was so eye-opening. I loved it.
Jake Wood played the role, and Ricky Champ as well. Jake won an award, didn't he, for his performance? Do you feel the pressure, or is it like, yeah, whatever?
No. I watched him when I watched it 6 months ago, and I was so impressed and loved his character. But I don't feel any pressure because we're so genuinely different. Like, there's nothing I could even do to get close to what he does, because I think I'm a bit more of a softie and I'm a bit more of a geek, and so that sort of, it's just two different kettle of fish. So what a massive achievement he made to make the characters so good. It was brilliant, and I just feel like mine's different, baby.
Yeah, and I think that's what works and why people keep coming back. And Vera, you play a couple, right? Or without giving too much away, tell us a little bit about what happens to you in 222.
What happens to my character, Lauren? Well, she goes to a dinner party to visit her university best friend, and it's the first time she's seen his new house, and it's the first time she's seen his new baby. And I think as a career person who doesn't have a child, who's currently dating the guy who did her bathroom, maybe there's a whole bunch of emotions going on, but she's putting on a brave face. And then within minutes, the wife of my friend is like, there's a ghost in the house. Let's stay up till 2:22 to see if it's real. And I'm like, oh, but my friend doesn't believe in ghosts. If I am on side with the wife, then I can't impress my friend. So there's a lot of stuff going on. At the same time, she's trying to make sure that Ben doesn't embarrass her. So Lauren basically just drinks her way through the evening. A lot of drinking.
I can kind of imagine, yeah. And especially when you're put into that sort of situation. Having spoken to Danny Robbins, the creator, he said to me that 222, a ghost story, he said, well, ghost stories are like detective stories. And I thought this was really interesting. He said, if you're a skeptic, it's a howdunit. And if you're a believer, it's a whodunit. So I'm wondering, what side of the fence are we on? Jay, I'm going to start with you because I sense that Vera's got something big to say.
I would probably be in a position where I start with how, but I'm so open and almost want to know who. So if if nothing can be explained, then I go, well, then maybe it's a ghost. But I will always probably start from a position of okay, is this just a creaky floorboard? Is this just a cat has got stuck in your roof and is making odd noises? I'll always start from that. But there's something in my physical intuition that makes me go, you never know. You never know.
Ooh, I love that answer. Brilliant answer. Vera, what about you? Or have you had any experiences seeing that you sussed out or sniffed mine out?
I haven't had any ghostly experiences myself. I grew up in Malaysia, and I once thought that there were these things called toyol, running around in the roof about to get me. And basically toyals are like ghost babies. That's scary. Ghost babies out to get me. Turns out they were monkeys, but that's fine. But I have had close family members experience ghosts. I think for me in the play, in terms of a whodunit, I think it's sort of interesting because, and it's fun for the audience because you're thinking, which one of the dinner party attendees is behind all the spooky goings on. And it could be a few of us up to no good.
You're frightened. I can see that.
You don't believe me. It happened 4 nights running.
You're listening to Art with Amanny Mo. Yep, that's me, where we bring you some cosy conversations with some fabulous people from the world of arts and entertainment. You've just heard from one of the 2 couples in the play 222, A Ghost Story, which is currently out on tour across the UK. You can head on over to 222aghoststory.com for more information. I'll be sharing a few of my thoughts on the play later on in the pod, and also listen out for Vera and Jay's brilliant watchlist recommendations, but more on that later. You can access all available podcast episodes on all major podcast platforms, or you can head on over to the website Art to Art, that's art, the number 2 art.podbean.com. And if you want to search me out on socials, it's just AMANNYMO. This is 222, A Ghost Story special. And this time, I'll be having an art-to-art with the married couple in the story, who've just become new parents. Fiona Wade and George Rainsford played Jenny and Sam, respectively, and I caught up with the pair to delve a little bit deeper into this paranormal mystery.
The laws of thermodynamics. Things cannot appear and disappear.
I don't believe in ghosts. I figured it was a stupid dream, or I don't know, my brain.
But there's an explanation, a scientific explanation.
I have spoken to the man himself, the creator of 222 last year. 222, A Ghost Story. It's had such amazing reviews, some incredible casting as well, which Danny said to me, it's not stunt casting. He reassured me it's not stunt casting. And not only that, but of course, we know you from the small screen. You've been in 2 of the nation's favourite soaps. I was wondering what it's like as well to be an actress that goes from a well-loved soap like Emmerdale and then having to kind of switch up your skills a little bit for a play.
So firstly, I was a huge fan of Danny Robbins. I listened to his Uncanny podcast. And when I realized it was him that had written 222, because I didn't realize that at first, it hadn't really been on my radar until it was, should I say. And then, I was literally like, I so want to do this play. I really want to do this play. And when I was offered the part, it just felt incredibly right. It's almost, it's so up my street. It's so everything that I'm into, Team Believe. And I just love the part of Jenny. And I know I've said this before, but after Emmerdale, it really had to be the right part and the right role for me. And I had waited a little while to just I wanted it to be the right thing. And this just felt so right. And then I read the play. Obviously, I read the play before I got offered the part, but it was just fantastic. Just a brilliant script by a fantastic writer and someone who I followed. I love his podcasts, and he's a lovely man. We met him as well on our press night, didn't we? So lovely. And I couldn't be happier. I literally, was so excited and still am excited to be in this play that has just such an amazing following. Everyone loves it. It gives everyone such a great feeling in the theatre or our audiences. It's such a popular, successful show. And to be a part of that, I feel incredibly privileged and thankful to be a part of this, I guess, 222 family.
Yeah.
I love it so much. And then your second question about coming from Emmerdale. Yes, completely different from what I've been doing for 10 years. I did start doing theatre many, many years ago, and I hadn't done theatre for a long time. So it's definitely been a personal challenge for me, huge challenge. I think the play being something that I so wanted to do, and a play that I'm so interested in and that I loved when I read, has helped immensely with my journey with it, because I thought, oh gosh, theatre, will it be really terrifying? It's such a complete departure from what I've been doing. But I think there's something really special about this play. And I always say it to the guys, don't I? I just love it so much. And I think it's just 2 hours of just really good kind of drama, you know, something you can really get your teeth into as an actress. I feel like I've been very challenged by the role. I love it. I honestly love everything about this play. And I think that has made that kind of change from doing television to back to theatre much easier, because I think of how much I have felt that it has been right for me, you know, and how much I love doing it.
Well, that makes perfect sense.
Very long answer, sorry.
That's fine by me. I remember after I spoke to Danny, I kept seeing, and this is no word of a lie, and I actually tweeted it to him. I kept seeing 222 everywhere, and I do blame him for this. I said, I think you've got something following you around. I don't think he was kind of like, maybe, possibly. But yes, that was the case. I'm going to get on to spooky goings on in a minute, but George, I have to ask you, because obviously, again, we know you from the small screen, but what was it about 222 and, you know, your character Sam that kind of grabbed you and made you think, oh, I love this, I want to do this? And what were the kind of the nuances of the character that intrigued you the most?
Well, the character was a big difference to what I was playing on Casualty, for one thing. I absolutely loved my time there, and I think even in that time, Ethan grew, or whatever you want to call it, without sounding too gushy. But he was quite a timid sort of introvert at the start, quite bookish, and then sort of found his feet. But I think with Sam, he's much more self-assured and confident and opinionated, and I would say funny, but he certainly finds himself funny. And that is really fun to sit in every night and sort of hold court and tell these passionate, enthusiastic stories. And I've really enjoyed the energy. He's almost a bit sort of boyish, like Tigger or something. So yeah, he's very different from what I was playing for the best part of a decade. But actually, beyond obviously my character, I just think the relationships in the play are really clear and really interesting and multi-layered. Everybody's got quite clear relationships with each other that are very different, and that's you know, the challenge each night is sort of landing all those nuances and stuff between each other. And yeah, so I'm likewise a huge fan of the writing, and I've really enjoyed getting to do the live audience thing again.
It's kind of that thing, I guess, of being terrified every night to get everything on point, but then also enjoying that adrenaline side of it that you probably don't get with TV, in the sense that, you know, you can just do another take or let's go again and change.
There were still nerves. I found nerves with television, particularly if it was like 6:45 and we had to get a scene done and it was medical jargon and stuff. But you're right, there's a certain level of, on this, there's like a natural adrenaline when you hear the audience buzzing around when you're in the wings.
And we're on stage constantly, so there's not that time.
But once you're on, you're kind of into it, aren't you?
Yeah, and I don't think I'd realise that, because there isn't almost even time to kind of get scared, really, because you're just on, you know, it's constant for us. So and we're kind of on a bit of a journey. It's one of those plays where you get a lot back from the audience. We get very good gasps and laughs, and we even get chatter between scenes, which is hilarious. There's quite a bright sort of stage light that we change scenes with, and I think the audience feel like they're in blackout, so they just seem to chat, which is really fun because you can sort of see them all discussing it.
That's brilliant. I didn't even know. No one's ever told me that before. That's absolutely brilliant. Maybe a little bit disconcerting, but also as a pro, I'm sure you guys ace it every night anyway.
Oh, I like it.
Fiona, in terms of your character Jenny, there's been a massive fuss when Cheryl Cole played the role. Also Lily Allen, who was nominated for an Olivier Award as well. But also, you know, the cast is ever changing. Do you ever feel that pressure at all, where people say, oh, well, I saw Cheryl in this and now you're doing it, now you better be good, young Fiona?
Oh, no one said that to me yet, but what I think is very special about this play is I think everyone has brought their thing to it. So I actually haven't seen the play before this, but I've heard great things about obviously every cast that have played it. But I think what's lovely is that when, again, it's such an intense sort of period of rehearsal and going into the show, we just concentrate on what we're doing. I haven't thought about anything else, or, you know, anyway, there's nothing to, you know, the only thing I think I felt that you want to live up to is the fact the play has an incredible reputation and following. Everyone loves it. So you want to just do the best you can. Yeah, but what we created is what is our version and what we've created. And I tend to not think about anything or anyone else, because that would have been their beautiful thing that they created, and there's no comparisons because my journey would be very different to someone else's and vice versa. And I think you just got to kind of really give it your 100% to what you're doing.
Just don't have enough mental capacity to think about that as well.
Yeah, so
there's enough soul searching.
Yes.
Are you, final question in one answer, are you a skeptic or are you a believer when it comes to spooky goings on?
Team believe.
I'm skeptic, yeah. Sorry.
And I'm team believe.
Yes.
Yeah, when I spoke to Danny, we got into some stuff and some stories. Yeah, but sorry, guys, my time's up. I can't speak to anyone.
What a shame. I could talk all day about that.
We should get together about this, but I'm coming to see you in Woking, so I'm very, very excited.
Wonderful. Make sure you come say hi.
You don't believe me? It happened 4 nights running.
If ghosts don't exist, why do people see them?
You've just heard my chat with actors Fiona Wade and George Rainsford from 222 A Ghost Story, which is coming to a UK theatre near you. For more information or tickets, you can head on over to 222aghoststory.com. You're listening to Art to Art with Amanny Mo, and I'd love to have an Art to Art with you. You can access all available podcast episodes on all major platforms, or you can head on over to the website Art to Art, that's art, the number 2, art.podbean.com. This is 222 A Ghost Story special, and I'll be sharing my thoughts on my trip to Woking's New Victoria Theatre to see the play there shortly. And we're going to hear what things are on cast members Jay and Vera's watch list. That's the equivalent of your regular to-do list, but for things from the world of arts and entertainment. I headed to the lovely New Victoria Theatre in Woking, and just for good measure, I took my theatre-loving friend along for the ride. Caveat, this is the very same friend who recently walked out of a show because it was so bad. I'll say no more than that. Now, the thing about 222 A Ghost Story is you can't actually really say too much about it. We don't want to do any spoilers here on Art to Art. But what I can say is I loved the staging, the use of Massive Attack's song Angel throughout. And if you want to hear that song, I've put the YouTube link in the episode description. But what they do is very cleverly use this music as a scene breaker. That bass reverb just resonates around in your chest wall, and it makes you feel like something foreboding is certainly coming your way. The staging and actions within that space, the tension, sexual and ghostly, are all really cleverly built up throughout the show, with a few scares along the way, let me tell you. And of course, the theme of the paranormal with the kind of rational versus irrational brain thinking that goes with it. Now, considering we're stuck at a dinner party, which is where the story is set, we're in a living room with just 4 characters as well leading the charge. It had me a tad concerned because I did wonder if the boredom factor would set in, but the performances, the character quirks and irks are really engaging and entice you right into their world and into the story. It's that kind of will they or won't they make it to 2:22 a.m. kind of scenario as well. And then I have to tell you this, because literally in the first little bit of the show, can't say which bit, something happens and then 2 ladies sitting next to us screamed so loud it was like a domino effect. They screamed, my friend almost jumped into my lap, and then the woman on my right hand side screamed as well. So altogether, the 4 of them gave me a virtual heart attack. 222 A Ghost Story is clever as it is manipulative in the way it makes you feel. The show's really well put together, playing upon your own fears and expectations, and let's not forget those all-important scares and jumps too. In great news, my friend didn't walk out and she thoroughly enjoyed her first visit to the New Victoria Theatre in Woking. She absolutely loved the theatre, so it was really great to introduce her to a new theatre space as well. If you you want to find out which other shows are coming to the New Victoria, then head on over to atgtickets.com/venues and you'll find it there. 222 A Ghost Story continues haunting theatres around the UK until the 4th of June when it hits Salford in the north of England. I also spoke to the show's creator, Danny Robbins, last year on my former BBC radio show. So if you're interested in what he has to say about creating the show, amongst lots of other things, actually, if you're really into the paranormal, then you'll absolutely love what he has to say. You can also find that link in the episode description for BBC Sounds if you're interested. You're listening to Art with Amanny Mo. It's time now to hear what both cast members Jay and Vera have in store for us on their watch list. You know how we've all got a to-do list, things that we've got to do as long as our arm, and we never ever get round to it. But we have to write it down because we think we've got to get to that thing. The watch list is anything on your list of things to watch or go to an event, for example. So I was going to ask both of you, could you give me one or two things, up to you, on your watch list?
I would like to highly recommend Jay McGuinness's book.
Oh
my God.
Oh my goodness, we didn't even talk about that. Okay, good one. Is he paying you for this, Vera?
No, well, he doesn't know it yet.
In vino, maybe.
Oh no, I drink too much. Thank you so much. It's called Blood Flowers. It came out recently. It's just like this lovely young adult fantasy, fantasy. And I feel like it's not set in Nottingham, but it's inspired by your time in Nottingham.
Yeah, like market towns.
And market towns. And I think that's so lovely not to read anything that's like American and it's like written by like a young person in the UK. And it's so beautiful. I'm like currently reading it and I'm so engrossed and it's beautifully written. Like Jay is very poetic and very insightful. And I highly recommend that. Available in all good bookshops now!
That is brilliant. I love that. Jay, you've got the best mate sitting right next to you.
Pocket-sized happiness right here.
I love it. This was your first book, right?
Yes, that's right. Actually, in The Wanted, we did an autobiography, but that was all ghost written, and we were just teenagers like, yeah, we'll make a book, great. This one was all me, sat with my laptop in the library, flexing my little creative.
What was the most challenging thing then about that?
And I think, you know what was really, well, it wasn't challenging, it was shifting my brain a lot. Writing the whole first draft was such a self-exploration. To suddenly have an editor at times was like really uplifting, like, oh my God, like they love what I'm doing, or they've thought of something that adds a whole awesome layer to things. Or I was like, no, that's wrong. That's wrong, you know, because I pictured something and when someone has a different vision, it's like it jarred me a lot. But very quickly you get in step. It ended up being a really rewarding relationship to me. But I remember when I first got my first draft response back, I was like, oh, no, you've missed a point on some things, you know. So that was probably a mind-expanding thing. But now I love it. But my editor's the best.
Amazing. I can totally imagine what you mean and what you're saying. Tell me your watch list pick then. Vera, you haven't got a book, have you?
Yeah, she has. She's got a book of poetry that I've already pre-ordered, and it is called Angry Yellow Woman.
And it's coming out in April, and I'm just sort of like organising the book launch now, and I'm really excited.
And the front cover is hilarious. She's like, you look like a 60s housewife. Is that right? Like doing some cleaning and looking pissed off about it. But it's great. Oh, and then also let me add a musical, because I went and watched Guys and Dolls, which is in... Anyway, I watched it 2 nights ago, and it blew my mind. The staging, I got let into this room with a crowd, and the stage came through the floor, and the crowd had to part, and it was all right on top of each other. Actors, audience, intermingling. It was epic.
Okay, wait. If we're talking musicals, we need to like Unfortunate.
Oh,
do you know like The Little Mermaid and like Ursula the Sea Witch? So Unfortunate's the story of Ursula the Sea Witch.
Oh my God! I need that in my life.
That's touring the country right now.
And it's filthy.
But everyone should come and see 222 A Ghost Story first. And then go. Yeah.
Yeah.
The books you can just buy. That's all cool because you can do those things in Synergy, right?
222, you got to see it before the tickets are selling out, friend.
You've done the best sell job ever. I'm so impressed with you two. It's such a pleasure and a joy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great energy.
Take care.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we'll see you after the show.
Well, that's it for another podcast episode. Thank you to my fabulous guests, the cast members of 222 A Ghost Story, Vera Chock, Jay McGuinness, Fiona Wade and George Rainsford. And thank you to you for having that all-important Art to Art with me. I really hope you enjoyed this theatre special. You're listening to Art with Amanny Mo, and you can listen wherever you get your podcasts. Please do like, follow us, and share the love with your friends. You can find me on socials at Amanny Mo, that's AMANNYMO, on Instagram or X, formerly known as Twitter. Or, if you fancy it, you can just head on over to the website art2art.podbean.com. That's art2art.podbean.com. I'll be back with more amazing guests from the world of arts and entertainment very soon. Until next time, see ya!